Hey everybody. Hi, in this video, I'm going to be talking to you about the difference between productivity and implementation. All right, so let's get started. So, hey, if you are thinking that you have a productivity problem, you may actually be having an implementation problem. So I wanted to go over today the difference between productivity and implementation. So, productivity is about getting more done in less time. So, building efficiencies, being more efficient with how you get things done, and and then being able to manage those tasks and see them through to completion, right? And then implementation is actually about taking all of those outputs that you create during productivity and bringing them all together into a result, right? Into some form of a tangible result, like a deliverable, a sales page, whatever it might be. So, in order to be more productive, here are some things that you can do to help yourself be more productive. One is break down your work. So, if you have anything that you think is going to take longer than 4 hours, or that has natural breaking points in it already, then break it down into those natural breaking points. Or if it's going to take longer than 2 hours, break it down into some milestones that you can have. And that will help you to have a stopping point, a natural place where you can stop so that you can do a 2 hour stretch, get the thing done, and not feel like you're just under this heavy weight of some big project, right? So, milestones will really help breaking the work down. And my rule of thumb on breaking things down is if I can't estimate how long that thing is going to take me to do, then I need to break it down into smaller tasks so that I can put a time on it, like 15 minutes, an hour, 2 hours, whatever. So try doing that. The other is prioritizing tasks by their importance. Now, we talk all the time in my Facebook group and with my clients about the minimum viable product. So, that minimum viable product is really all those top priority things that you need to get done in order to create a complete project or a complete product. Remember the iPhone 1? The iPhone 1 was an MVP. It was the minimum viable product that they were willing to release, and it was missing the forward facing camera and flash photography. But that was something they added later and no problem. And because they didn't push their deadline out and they got the phone out on time in July of 2007, I think it was, they were able to sell 1.3 million phones by December of that year, which was generating tons of revenue for their project so they could keep the iPhone product going, right? So that's what you want to do is start thinking about what is going to make that MVP, that minimum viable product. What is the top priority? What are the must haves in there? And then the rest, you could probably make them all won't have at this time. That way, you still get the thing done. And then you have other features like they did with the iPhone. They had the forward facing camera that became, it was probably a could have, right? And then they changed it to a won't have at this time because they did not want to push their deadline. So think about that. What is your MVP? The other way to be more productive is to really work on completing tasks in a timely manner. Like, if you, that's why breaking them down is so important, so that you can sit down in one sitting and get a task done. If you have to sit down in multiple sittings, it's better to create milestones and natural stopping points for yourself so that you can celebrate some wins and see some progress and move that item over on your Kanban board to the done column because that makes you feel good. For repeatable tasks, create efficiencies, templates, cheat sheets, workflows, processes, repeatable processes, all that stuff. So make sure that you're creating like a desk manual for yourself. You're creating efficiencies so that you can get things done in less time, but still, not really sacrifice quality because you're templating things for yourself and making it easier. And then the last one on to be more productive is coordinate your tasks in such a way so that you can get more done. And that is really crosses over into the implementation world, because what we call it in the project management world is a network diagram. And that network diagram helps us to map out when things should be done and what's dependent on what. So if you have, a sales page that's dependent on getting the copywriting done, well, you probably want to get that copywriting done before you start creating your sales page. Um, and so you can be doing things simultaneously, though. You could be laying out and mapping out your sales page and kind of getting the design as you're writing the copy, and kind of doing it as a simultaneous process. But that can get in the way of creating an effective sales page. I have a copywriter friend who always says, write the copy, then design your sales page. Write the copy, then design your sales page. So you can see how coordinating your tasks can help you so you're not having time wasted, right? Like, for example, if you have something that's going to take a long time to do, and then you have a bunch of other shorter tasks, you might be able to work on them sort of at the same time. I don't really like to say that, um, but what I mean is you can be getting those smaller things done while you're working on that longer one where you maybe need to slate out full focus time, things like that. And then you don't have gaps of time when you're doing nothing, right? You always have something that you're working on for that particular project so that you can get it done, and you don't have big gaps of time where nothing is happening. You're waiting on something. Let's say you're waiting on somebody to give you something that you've assigned to them or whatever. And if you're waiting on that, you can be doing something else. But if you don't plan it very well, then you might have that gap of time where you're not getting anything done. So that really crosses into implementation. So I wanted to go through some more points on how to build your skills on implementation. So the first one is understanding how all the tasks that you're doing come together to create that minimum viable product or whatever it is that you're doing. And those tasks really, that's that coordination of tasks, how they come together, the timing of when they should be done, and then how they make up the blueprint of whatever it is that you're creating, like a course or something like that, right? There's all these different little components to building an online course. And if you understand and know how everything fits together, it's easier for you to implement because you can get real focused on one little aspect of it because the rest isn't overwhelming you because you've compartmentalized in your brain that, okay, I'm just working on this one little component of this larger picture. And now it's easier for me to focus in on that one thing. The other is bring all that output together in a tangible result and write that tangible result down. What is that minimum viable product? What does it look like? What are its features? What are its responsibilities? What's its job, right? What's its job? And then also defining success measures and how to collect data. So once you understand what its job is, then you can start saying, okay, how is this thing going to earn its keep? How am I going to measure success of this particular thing? And then you can start building things like reports for yourself to collect that data, or spreadsheets or whatever, to collect that data and analyze that data so that you can keep going and you're focused on maybe just one revenue stream instead of your whole business haunting over you. You're actually focused in on one particular thing and then how its measure of success. So those little tiny wins can all add up to be some really big wins in your business. And then using continuous improvement to optimize. So part of the implementation process is we get it out there. After testing it, we get it out there and then we listen for feedback and we make improvements based on that feedback. Plus, we're fixing bugs, we're doing all that kind of stuff. So, use continuous improvement to make sure that you're always improving on the things. You don't just have something stale sitting out there. I'm about to cough. Sorry. Dang it. Got a tickle in my throat. Anyway, so using that continuous improvement to optimize, okay? All right, so that's the difference between productivity and implementation. So if you're getting on yourself about, I'm just not productive enough, it's possibly perhaps because your implementation skills are lacking and you're having a hard time seeing the big picture and understanding where you're going. Okay. All right. I hope that that helps you. And be sure to punch that like button for me and put anything in the comments, questions, anything. If you have experienced that where you're feeling like, geez, I could be more productive, and now you're thinking, maybe it is implementation skills. Put a one in the comments, put a little hand in the comments or a fire or something, and let me know what it is. I'd love to hear from you. And then don't forget to opt in for my new freebie. It is 10 ways to improve your productivity. And you can get that at thescrumshop.com/productivity. Okay, all right, you guys. I will see you in the comments.